Hey, how's it going? So right behind me, this is a location from a famous movie, and I want you to guess what it is. I'll let you know at the end of the video, but first, something really cool happened. I got a chance to see Mary Herring give a talk, and you remember I did that video on American Psycho where I noticed that every time that Patrick Bateman kills somebody, he's framed from his right side? Well, actually, I got a chance to ask her about it, and this is how it went. It seems like in a lot of the scenes where Patrick is going to kill somebody or he is killing somebody, then it's shot with his right side of his face to the camera. And except for the scene where he's going to kill Gene with the nail gun, his left side, and then he decides not to. Is that intentional?
No, that's a detailed understanding of it. No, that wasn't.
I just want to say one thing that having made a number of movies that become somewhat iconic, at a certain point the movie becomes theirs and not yours.
Yeah, so
especially when those things are.
I mean, whatever, that wasn't deliberate, but whatever, but it might work out symbolically in some way, and
Is there anything with the duality of the face?
No, well, there's one scene where it totally happened, and it was by accident, which is when he's killing Jared Leto.
Right.
With the axe, and it was a complete accident, but the blood hit one side of his face. And it was all in one take, and I remember the blood hits one side, and he went and in one shot he goes down and sits on the couch and starts to smoke a cigar. And I remember thinking just this thrill of like, oh my God, it just hit one side of his face. It's so like, split personality. That's perfect, but it was not planned.
Yeah, so still one of the coolest moments of my life. But check out this statue right here. This was actually featured in the scene in question. And there was a guy standing right in front of it. And there was a ton of people here. And then our main character was standing right over there. So see if you can guess what movie it is. So there are two huge updates I've been saving for this 100,000 subscriber, or should I say 101,000 subscriber special. And one of them, not even my patrons know about. But the first one is this.
I made a set. This is what I've been working on for the past year. As some of you know, I've been wanting to add another kind of content to go alongside my making film series. I mean, it's kind of funny because I'm actually moving soon, so all this is going to be packed up and moved somewhere else. Making Film is a series based around learning about film and filmmaking from organizing information in interviews, documentaries, articles, books, other resources into the main disciplines, cinematography, editing, screenwriting, acting, sound design. This way, each video is built out of everything we could find on, for example, the cinematography of There Will Be Blood. People can watch a video on each aspect of A Clockwork Orange, or they can watch all the videos on the cinematography of different movies. I've always wanted to learn how to make great movies from the people who make great movies. There's some things written by people outside of the industry that are pretty good, but I would rather learn about the screenwriting from A Clockwork Orange from info taken directly from Kubrick's interviews and production history. Now it's time to introduce a new series as part of CinemaTyler Phase 2. The series that is officially launching now is called CinemaTyler Show, which is a less rigidly structured series that allows me to experiment with things, talk about film history, and put some of the filmmaking tips from the masters into practice. Under the umbrella of CinemaTyler Show, I will do one-offs and multi-part series on heavy things, light things, weird things, introductory things, advanced things, events, collaborations, everything related to the art of motion pictures. But the main concept is to try and make this more like shows rather than video essays. I want to try and make it a little easier to make these so I can increase my output and cover more topics. I mean, it'd be much easier to be able to cut to a shot of me at the desk if I don't have a good way to illustrate what I'm talking about. I've already done a fair amount of research on a ton of movies, and it's such a bummer to be stuck on the edit when I'm working on the next thing. And also, increasing my output would help with money and, I gotta eat.
This is another location, same movie, different location. See if you can guess the movie. This is our basic frame right here, and we had, a character kind of hang out right by this door frame, just kind of hanging out, Think you can guess what the movie is?
Man, 100,000 subscribers is such a huge milestone for me. I've been at this a long time, and as your audience grows, you start to feel good about what you're doing, but you also get this pressure builds for your next video. Yeah, video essays are a very weird medium. I mean, it's very interesting, but it's so set up for these kind of one-off things that you kind of have to hope that something kind of gets traction or something, and then that kind of peters out and you're left starting from scratch again. That's why I kind of want to build this kind of a series, like a show, something that you can return to, something that you can see something about a movie that you haven't necessarily seen, and you'd still want to watch the video because you're interested in film history or something like that. All I'm saying is I want to give myself enough room to be creative and to fail without it being such a huge deal. So one thing that I think would have really helped me when I was starting out was to see what exactly was responsible for a channel's growth. Sometimes you're watching a video and someone mentions how they're excited that they just passed 15,000 subscribers. And now they're at like 500,000 subscribers, and this video that you're watching isn't really that old. Well, here's where the small successes of my channel came from. Spoiler, it was mostly luck. So while I was writing essays on movies for school, I always thought that it would be really cool to see the specific scene that I'm talking about as I'm talking about it, like a commentary. I'm obsessed with Cinephilia and Beyond, which I think was a Tumblr back then. I thought it would be awesome to make little documentaries using all the incredible information that Cinephilia and Beyond has collected. I had been a big fan of Rob Ager and Must See Films and decided to make a video. It got flagged immediately by Content ID, and that was that. But I kept thinking about it. Then I became aware of Every Frame a Painting on Vimeo and was like, whoa, that format is great, but how do you get away with using all these movie clips and famous songs? So I made a couple of little videos, one on a trip to the moon and one on a French movie that I had seen recently named Le Jour se lève. I thought it was cool because it was like a special feature for a movie obscure enough to, at that point, not even have a DVD or Blu-ray available. There was a film school commentaries video with David Mamet, I think it was for House of Games, where he's talking about how directing and screenwriting is kind of like being a con artist or a magician. Your entire goal is to manipulate someone.
So if you look at what Marcel Carné did in that movie, it's so much of it has to do with the props and showing the prop. Well, it's like magic, right? You show the prop once, what does it mean? You show the prop twice, it must mean something. You show the prop the third time and it pays off in a way that you didn't expect.
He talked about Le Jour se lève in the commentary, and I thought that it would be cool to lift that part out and put it with the other information on Le Jour se lève. I was super freaked out that I was going to get sued for including the music by the band Air, which was written for the restoration of A Trip to the Moon. And it was obscure and, nobody watched the videos anyways. And my first subscriber was a friend from school. This is him in a little samurai short that I made. When you start out, it feels like you're putting a ton of work into crafting this little paper boat to float down the river. And you work on it and you work on it until you're proud. And then you take it to the river and you see that there are so many people and so many boats that you can't even see the water anymore. You place your boat in the river and it floats away, getting lost among the other pretty similar looking boats. And you kind of walk away going, well, I've got an idea for another boat. The trick is that it shouldn't be thought of as one giant river, but a bunch of tiny rivers. You kind of start going, well, who's watching my 2001 videos? Was it movie fans, fans of classic cinema or science fiction? Fans of Kubrick, fans of 2001 specifically, fans of Arthur C. Clarke or Keir Dullea, fans of me? My first break was after the Inherent Vice video. I had gotten to see it early because of the New York Film Festival, so there was buzz around it. I got messaged by the ATZ show, and it got featured on the IndieWire blog Press Play. I wrote an email to Max Winter, who featured my video, to thank him. He asked me if I'd be interested in making a series of videos for Press Play. I said sure. I was earning some money by doing something that I actually enjoyed doing. Something that I had pretty much been doing as a hobby for years. My Breathless video got featured on No Film School, which was really cool because I had been going to No Film School a lot. V. Renee and Justin Morrow really helped in the beginning and still do. A side note, Luis Azevedo sent me a syllabus he found for a Stanford class that features my Breathless video. I mean, that's insane, especially considering that I couldn't get into Stanford in a million years. Then there was the 2001 A Space Odyssey series, which I think brought in most of my subscribers. I kind of became the Kubrick guy, but I'm not complaining about that. I met so many awesome people through that series. Check out the end of the last part to hear me talk about all of the 2001 fans I met through that. Then IndieWire got bought and they got rid of all the blogs. And some of the blogs started their own websites like The Playlist, but Press Play got absorbed by No Film School. I mean, how awesome is that? Next thing I know, I'm doing another series, but this time for No Film School. Then after my Blade Runner video, a YouTuber named Bad Comedian shared my video and got me a huge spike in subscribers. Then it has been more of a steady build since then. I wasn't expecting my Barry Lyndon video to do so well, and I was expecting my There Will Be Blood acting video to do better. Low points, let's see, when Nikatsu took my Branded to Kill video down and gave me a copyright strike, now nobody can ever see it again for the rest of time. On a completely unrelated note, have you thought about becoming a patron? You know, the patrons, even for $1, you can get access to some content that is not necessarily allowed on YouTube. Well, I also got all of my 2001 videos manually flagged, but I was able to sort it out. And my Bridge on the River Kwai video got deemed not advertiser friendly, probably because I sang a little song about a certain World War II dictator with a tiny mustache missing a certain part of his anatomy. Yeah, I mispronounce a lot of stuff, and some people get pretty upset by it. Okay, now it's time for some viewer mail. Let's see, we got, great work, Tyler. 2001 is in a league by itself. Only one small quibble. I believe Stanley's last name is pronounced Kubrick, not Kubrick, as you were saying it. Thanks. It's Kubrick, not Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick. I don't want to be that guy, but it's Kubrick. Such a lovely and well-researched video. Which makes me an utter turd to point out that Downcastle is pronounced Dune. Thanks for another great video, Tyler, albeit with some hilarious pronunciations, lol. Edinburgh is pronounced Edinburgh. That I probably should have known. Norwich. Did I not say Norwich? And Downcastle is Dune. Okay, it's written almost kind of like Dune already, but it said in the article or whatever that I was looking at, it said that it was pronounced down. The castle is pronounced Dune. Source, I live 5 miles from Dune. You said Norwich wrong. You're an American, so it's understandable. Well, that's nice. Oh shit. Okay, so you remember my video on Blade Runner 2049 where I kept saying Denis Villeneuve? Because I thought, everybody was saying that. I didn't think that it was, something that was up for question or something. And then I saw him actually say his name. Denis Villeneuve, right? So, yeah. Botched it. So somebody wrote, his name is Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve, 2 syllable surname, not 3, meaning Newtown. You called him Denis, but where did you the 3rd syllable from for his surname? Everyone who interviewed or mentioned him was able to say Villeneuve, but you. Ugh. By the way, route rhymes with route, as in Route 66. To root is to beat badly. Check it out. This is the one and only major flaw for this otherwise good analysis. As a result, I give this a thumbs down. Sorry. Yes, I'm Canadian. Still kind of nice, right? Who is this Willie New guy he's talking about? It's Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, okay, so I pronounce a lot of words incorrectly. I do try to look at the pronunciations online most of the time. A lot of times they give you like 5 different things and stuff, but most of the time it's because I'm an idiot. It's because I come across these words in the research. I haven't really been exposed to them, or I've seen them before, but I've never really said them. Because why would you say Telefoni Bianchi? I don't know. And it's not Telefoni Bianchi. It's Telefoni Bianchi. That's what these people tell me in the comments, right? So, it's because I'm I'm coming across these words in my research and I don't know how they're pronounced, and sometimes they seem like they should be pronounced a certain way, and then you start getting exposed to that word more and more in your research, and then you forget that you don't know how to pronounce it. But the one that I don't really understand is is this one, where somebody says noir is pronounced noir, not noir. Noir is pronounced noir, not noir. Noir, noir. High points. Okay, high points, definitely this milestone right here. But also when filmmakers like my stuff. I mean, the ultimate high point for this channel was probably when William Friedkin and Owen Roizman both said that they like my videos on the French Connection. It's insane how many nice comments I get on YouTube. I was expecting YouTube to be incredibly cynical and mean, but for the most part, everyone has been great. I must have been thinking of Reddit. Reddit is the place where people share my videos with people who literally hate me. Like they hate me like they know me. Okay, now the other big update. By far the most successful series of videos that I've had on this channel are the videos that I did on 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I've always wanted to do it because there hasn't really been a great documentary that really goes through the making of 2001. They were making one and then they canceled it, and so I got really depressed and decided just to make it myself. So I wanted to do another series that really breaks down a movie from start to finish and goes through every little detail. But the thing is that the movie has to have a really great story in its production, right? So I was thinking, what other movie has a really, really crazy production with lots of insane stuff going on, and it's also like a huge epic masterpiece that I can't wrap my mind around how they were even able to make something so incredible. So, a year ago, I started doing research on this movie. Now I know what you're thinking, but Hearts of Darkness is one of the greatest documentaries ever made. I'm not doubting that in any stretch. However, I read Eleanor Coppola's diary from the set, which Hearts of Darkness was based on, and read Peter Cowie's book, and read and watched every interview and commentary I could find, and there is a lot that Hearts of Darkness doesn't cover. And I've already begun writing the first episode, so keep an eye out. Thanks so much, everybody. You've really made this so fun and meaningful, and I really appreciate that. And a special thanks to my patrons over on Patreon. I know I say this a lot, but I see this channel work every day because of you. All of this equipment and the set and being able to do what I want to do with this channel, it's because of you. It's because of your support. I would not be able to do this without you. And the opportunities that this channel has given me, I wouldn't have those opportunities if it wasn't for you. So I can't thank you enough. This has really made my life. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the scene from Taxi Driver, you know, the one where Travis shows up sporting that crazy mohawk to kill Palantine. Well, there was a reason why I chose this location, and it's because the first episode of CinemaTyler show is actually on Travis's mohawk. So yeah, you can see behind me, Travis was actually standing right here, and this whole street, this is 59th Street, Columbus Circle, this was all cleared out, and there was a huge crowd out, just extending out into the street. And it was right around here, you can see where the fountains are. That's around where Travis was kind of hanging back with his like arms crossed, you know, with his mohawk and everything.
filthy mess. She is alone. They cannot touch her.
Thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure to watch the taxi driver video. It's down in the description, and I will be back in July with a video on Stalker. Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. Got a gun? Fuck out of here, man. Get out of here. Suck on this.